let's look at the Muscle Pharm Combat Powder. This will be triple berry. So before we get into anything else, let's go ahead and take a look at the label. And this nutritional information will be extremely similar to any other flavor. I'm not going to read everything off. You can take a look at it as you wish. Here's a little more of the label. 25 grams of protein per serving, which is 1 scoop. 5 protein sources. Feed your muscles up to 8 hours. Now that's kind of debatable whether or not it makes any difference or not. But, you know, there you go. Feed them up to 8 hours. Lists the sources of the protein. And, of course, it's triple berry combat powder. All right. So let's go ahead and open it up here. You can see inside. Use most of it up, but you can see that the powder is actually sort of white, even though this is a berry flavor. Of course, you get a scoop with it, just like all Muscle Pharm Combat Powder product. Now, they suggest, as you can see here, to use 8 to 12 ounces of cold water. I personally like to use about that much, about 4 ounces. You know, I'm not trying to make a drink out of my protein drink. I really just want to get the protein inside of me as fast as possible. So we'll go ahead and mix it. Check out how she mixes. So a serving is 1 scoop, about there. Of course, you can use a shaker cup if you prefer, and a shaker cup will actually work a little bit better, especially if you have a screen on your shaker cup to break up the lumps. But let's look at the mix ability here. You see when it's using less water, it's a bit thicker, but it mixes pretty quick. In a few seconds, and it's mixed. There are a few lumps, but again, yeah, I'm just gonna take this down in 1 chug. I really don't care. You can see it turns a nice, Pepto-Bismol color. And after that, I'll add in some creatine and some taurine, which I don't have with me right here. But that's the basics of the triple berry flavor. Now, moving on to taste, on a protein scale, it's about a 5, maybe a 5.5 in terms of taste. You know, based on like a pizza scale, it'd probably be like a 2. But since we're basing this against other protein powders, I'd say it's about a 5 to a 5.5. It doesn't taste very good at all, but you shouldn't really be, drinking your protein solely for the taste. So overall, I give Combat Powder a relatively high rating. I wouldn't rate the triple berry flavor very high. Again, flavor only really matters if you just literally can't stomach it. I've drank some really horrible stuff in my day, and this is not anywhere near that horrible. But based against other Combat Powder flavors, cinnamon bun, chocolate, whatever, this is definitely lower on the list. I would not suggest you get triple berry unless you can find it on sale, which is the only reason I have this here, is because it was quite a bit cheaper than some other flavors. I've never tried it, and if it's on sale, grab it. If it's not on sale, get something a little more palatable